Hi all, Alex here, Mad Cartographer, and welcome to episode 6 of What a Mad Week. This is our weekly overview of what we've been up to. Gonna jump straight in because this is going to be quite a map heavy video. Going to show all the maps that we've released this week, and there's been 7 maps this week that we've released. But before we do, I'm letting you guys know that we announced in last video that we had a new cartographer on board, Aggi, our long-term friend who we've worked with loads and I am very good chums with. He's no longer with us. I mean, well, he's with us, but he's no longer part of the Mad Cartographer. He's had a lot of some personal stuff going on and some professional stuff going on, and that we had a big chat, and now's just not the right time. If ever, if he ever comes back on, then great. We love the guy, but unfortunately, timing just wasn't right, and we only kind of realised a few days into him actually working with us. So Aggi is now unfortunately gone. However, we have brought on my best friend, Harrison. Some of you may have seen him on the Discord. He's going to be doing all the admin stuff behind the scenes, handling web shops, doing a lot of cool project work for us. So not making maps. We will still look at bringing on another map cartographer at some point, but he's going to pretty much be the right-hand man to both myself and Stefan, keeping everything organised, and basically anything non-map related is going to be Harrison that's going to be handling it. And you may have noticed already, if you're in the Discord, we've already changed everything around with the Discord. He's kind of got on top of that quickly. Now when you log in, all the channels will have disappeared. You need to go into the README, click the box to say that you've read the new rules, and then you'll see all the channels. So this is just to prevent bots and people being added to the server by Patreon automatically that don't want to be in the Discord. So now we should hopefully only see the people in there that want to be there. Anyway, that was 2 minutes of da-da-da-da. Let's get into the maps. So Dreaded Domains. We released quite early in the week the Alchemist shop for Van Rickton. So this is Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, which is with the famed hunter Rudolf Van Rickton. And in the book, the official book, there's just a little shot at the front of Van Richten's herbalist shop in Mordant, and we thought, that's cool. It's for some people it might work as a nice base of operations if you're going to be doing an Into the Mists kind of campaign. So we made a little shop for it. I'm going to show you some of these in more detail in Foundry in a second. But you can see that we are updating the header post that we made when we released the first maps. We're going to keep adding the gallery shots of the maps into that post. A bit of an oversight that people have no idea, unless they watch the video, what maps are being released. So we need a solid place where we can put the gallery maps, so that is where they will be. However, we're going to show you guys what we've been up to in a little bit more detail. So here you go. So this is Van Richten's Alchemist shop, and it is just a 2-tier internal building. It might not even be somewhere that you have combat. It's kind of like a nice casual potential RP map that you have. We originally did a canopy with a rooftop, but because we've got these internal wall structures, when you're stood outside and the roof is on, it cuts the walls still block line of sight. So it's one of the finicky things about the Foundry canopy system at the moment. I'm sure there's plenty of mods that can get around with that, but we don't want to make stuff too mod heavy. Or just spotted a little cheeky wall there. Let's fix that. Let's fix it live. So we've got Van Richten's herbalist shop. We've also got a blank version of it that you can just use to kit out with your own stuff using our assets. So the next big domain that we've touched on is Haslan. It is a domain of dread that is ruled over. I won't go into the details of who it's ruled over, but essentially it is a domain of magic gone wrong. There's loads of disaster sites, what they call them, in the book, and they listed 7 of them. One of them we weren't really keen on trying to do, but we've done the other 6 mentioned ones. So one of them is Moonstone Valley, and this is these are so all of the maps that we've done for this domain, for the Hasland domain, they're all 30 by 30 maps, so they're a good size for some good combat. So this is Moonstone Valley. It says, I don't know, that certain lunar phase or whatever, this valley is just peppered with meteorites. And so we've got this big central one in the middle, and we've got some different options. We've got with and without this central meteorite if you wanted to place something else in the middle, and still use this map if you're not necessarily using a Domains of Dread for your campaign. We've given a blank version for the All the Things tier, and there's a day and a night version. For this version, for the All the Things tier in Foundry, what I'm going to be looking to do before we release this, the maps are all available, they're all on my airbridge already. The Foundry update hasn't gone through yet because there's so many little things that we're doing with all these different maps. For this one specifically, I want to have a parallaxia where there are actually I don't know if I'll be able to do it as parallaxia, maybe with Foundry, either or a WebM where there are little meteorites shooting above you like across the screen, so while you're playing it's like you're in the middle of a meteorite shower, which I think will be really cool. And because it's the Canopy system, your tokens will be under it, and you know, so as you're watching, things will fly over the top of you. I think it'll look really cool if I manage to do it right. Anyway, so that's Moonstone Valley. Then you've got the Playas, which is... didn't realise they're all zoomed in so far. This is what was once a lake, is now basically deserts of quicksand that are riddled with purple worms. So we've just got this little subtle light animation, just using the default animations in Foundry. For these little pools. Again, 30 by 30, really cool size map, you know, a couple of purple worms on there. I think it would be pretty good fun. We've got these higher rocky outcrops to give your players a little bit of respite. This next map, the Fleshless Forest. I hated making this map. It was really, really difficult. I'm in the process of it. You know, I'll show you the other one as well. Let's go to this one. So there you go. So this is it with the full canopy. And this is essentially a forest where everything in it has turned to stone. Really hard to do because it's not a case of just making a map and then turning it into grayscale, because you've got all different colours are different shades, but you want all the stone to really be a very similar shade. Everything's, you know, it's all one stone. So that was quite a challenging thing to be able to still kind of be able to see the differences between these things, but I think it's worked out okay. I'm happy with it in the end. We've got this little dude that was, I don't know, just travelling through the road, through the forest. We've got this moose over here, just watching him, like a little bit of point of interest. With the canopy system, a nice little kind of Easter egg. So the canopy system, we'll have all the trees in place. We're working on them at the moment. When you go under the canopy, you'll see that this moose was actually being hunted down by a pack of wolves, and they were closing in on him, but they all got frozen and turned to stone before its fateful end. So that's the Fleshless Forest. Number 9 is the Orbitoclasts. Bit of a weird one, this one. So it's a pretty typical floating rocks type environment. All these kind of rocks floating around. It says for the Orbitoclasts that it looks in the shape of a lobotomy tool, and we were just like, I don't like that bit. We'll just do some floating rocks. But it says that there's floating rocks everywhere. So we tried to do a little bit of canopy work here. So we've got let's use Foundry guy. So you can go under, you go under these clouds a little bit, and you've got these in the foreground, these floating rocks up here, just to give a little bit. We've kept these to the sides though, so they don't obscure the map too much. We've got this little bit here, so it is a canopy here. When you go over here, there you go. It goes under these tents. But the interesting thing about this one, so this is again for the all the things tier, and we've got this as a flat map, but for the all the things tier, we've also got it using token attacher, where you can attach NPCs and players to these and move them around in combat. The central one doesn't work. It doesn't move around because we've got this canopy thing on it. You can't have 2 tiles attached to token attacher, so we wouldn't be able to attach this and the canopy. So we was like, okay, there's like this little sigil thing, and it keeps this rock in place. But these might just float around randomly, or whoever you're fighting, might be some kind of geomancer that can control them. And as ever, using token attacher, you can attach tokens. I'll tell you what, let's give you a little demo. You can have these on here, and then you would, as the DM, you would select this, you select token attacher, you select that, and then you attach him, and then it moves with him. And you can rotate these as well, and it will rotate people. You have to be careful where you're going to rotate, because it's going to rotate them off a grid, which isn't necessarily in the will, because when you would then unlock this dude, and then he can then move back onto a normal square again. So you can have this constantly changing battlefield, which I think would be really cool. I'm going to do some more stuff like this in future. I've had this kind of idea in my head for a while, but the Orbital class map seemed to work really well for it. Next map is called is just called Seeding, and it is for anyone familiar with Domains of Dread. There's all this thing about the mists, and this is basically at the edge of. I think it might actually be central of the domain. There is the mists are, the land is basically crumbling away into the mists. So this was our little thing. How you would use it, I don't know. You might have somebody that is being sacrificed here, and your players have to get them and stuff like that, which might be quite cool. Do you know what would have been cool? Now that I'm looking at it in hindsight, if we did something similar to the Obita class, because you could literally have them all placed like this, and then you could just be deleting them. That would have been quite cool, that you could actually just be deleting parts of the map. Maybe not for this one, but I think I might do something like that in future. I think that'd be really cool. So yeah, otherwise, pretty simple, but all swirly mist. That was pretty cool map. Final one is the Brew. So this is basically a polluted river that's made this arcane swamp where there's like crazy tree overgrowth and stuff like that. And we do have some canopy system on this as well. There you go. So when you go under, we're working on it again, because at the moment it's just basic canopy, but we're going to do our enhanced canopy, where here you would already be able to partially see under it, and then when you go under it, then it fully disappears. But yeah, so just got these pretty detailed arcane type swamp with all this pollution. It's like runoff from these laboratories in this city, and it's created this weird magical plant overgrown swamp. So I've got another dude on there. So there you go. Those are the maps that have come out. They are currently being put into Foundry. Probably going to be a day or two that these are going to be ready, and then I'm going to be switching to I've got another little group of maps that I'm doing, and then I'm trying to finish off the House of Lament. I got pretty far with it, but then because Aggi had to leave, then I had to kind of like catch up and do the maps that he was going to be doing. So I had to put the House of Lament to one side. It will be released before the end of the month. So anybody that is a patron this month, particularly Foundry, you will get access to the House of Lament. But yeah, so there you go. Pretty happy with these maps, and that's 6 30 by 30 maps, 7 maps in a week. That's not bad. I'm pretty happy. But like I said, we're doing some little quirky things in Foundry that's going to slow down this release. But when it is released, then they will all come with it in one go. So there you go. If you have any thoughts, let us know what you think in the post. But other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I will speak to you in a week. Peace!